Okay, so this is probably, yeah, this is the first time we've talked about a topic of this nature. This doesn't really fit into the video game slash movie news that we normally do, but I thought it would definitely be something worth bringing up because it's affected me. It has affected people in my family, and I'm sure it's affected anyone who's using Windows 7 or 8. So, what is it that we're talking about? Well, Windows 10 has been launched by Microsoft. And before they launched Windows 10, Microsoft announced that, hey, if you're on Windows 7 or Windows 8.1, you get a free upgrade. Um, okay, great. What they didn't mention is just how aggressive and adamant they will be about having you upgrade to Windows 10. Um, and honestly, I've heard good things about it from people who know a thing or two about computers. Um, I've heard for casual PC users, it's not the best for them, but for people like you and me, we use computers every day. That it's not a bad operating system. But the problem is they're getting tricky about getting you to opt out of these upgrade messages. In fact, when I brought my computer up out of sleep to get ready for our podcast this evening, there was a upgrade to Windows 10 on my screen. There's no way to say no. The only thing you can do is X out. There's nothing else, and pretty much it's gotten to the point where every time I wake my computer up, there's another message from Microsoft telling me that I really should upgrade. Now, what it does let you do is it does give you 30 days to evaluate it. 30 days in that trial period. If you want to go back to your operating system that you had before, you can. Um, but this story on Kotaku, I wanted to share this because this was, uh, to me, this just completely sets up why this is a bad idea. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to see where this was actually posted and this happened. Okay, so here's what this person from Kotaku said, and this is Patrick Klepek. Um, all right, so those stories about people getting accidentally upgraded to Windows 10 aren't a myth. It happened to me a few months ago. For a while, when the upgrade box would pop up, I'd simply schedule it for a later time, rinse and repeat. Then, for whatever reason, it decided to spontaneously upgrade overnight. Windows 10 subsequently locked me out of my files thanks to a glitch and broke my connection to the internet due to driver issues. This is not how you upgrade from one OS to another, and this is exactly the reason why I'm happy that I have stayed with my Windows 7 Home Premium version. I have no desire to go to Windows 10. There's no telling what kind of monstrosities I'll face once I get there, and I'm happy with Windows 7. Just perfectly fine running that system. And from my understanding, you have a Windows 8 laptop?
10.
You have a Windows 10 laptop. How are you enjoying Windows 10?
Well, when I first got my laptop, um, everything was fine. It came with Windows 10 on it already, so I didn't have to go through an update or anything or an upgrade. And I want to say the first 2 months I had it, it was actually running kind of well. I hadn't really been up to date with computers up until that point, just because my desktop had been just running really just poorly. and I couldn't really use it, so I just didn't. I just did a lot of things on my phone, and then I got this laptop and I started using it, and I don't like most updates for Windows. I believe that a lot of people actually really liked 7 and 8, and those were like the last. I think 7 was the one that people liked the most. Um, but I didn't learn any shortcuts or anything for that, uh, thankfully, because I'm a just gonna throw this out there now. I'm actually currently going to school to be a graphic designer, so learning shortcuts on my computer is going to be a key thing, especially for my different programs. So already having Windows 10 on there kind of makes things a little bit easier because I can just start from fresh. I don't really know, I didn't know anything back then. Here's the thing that I have a problem with about Windows 10. It will just update your computer. Just like the upgrade, like you'll just click no, 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 I don't want it, and then like suddenly you've upgraded. It does the same thing with the updates. I'll open my laptop up, I'll start it. All I want to do is open it up and either look for news for the podcast or watch some YouTube videos, and then right there on the bottom of my screen, as soon as it's up and running and it's at my desktop, it just says, "Would you like to update?" or "You have these updates." And you're like, no, there's no reason. It takes like 45 minutes to do absolutely nothing. Or if it is an update for anything, it's because the previous updates were making my current system buggy. Like things were just going wrong that shouldn't have been. And then there will be times where I need to use my laptop and I flip it up. I turn it on and it's updating. Sometimes these updates take like 10 minutes or like 5 minutes. It's nothing. Sometimes these updates take half a day. And for a college student who needs to write papers and research things, I personally have a problem with that. And I haven't encountered anything like that in a long time. The constant window pop-up of update, update, update. There's updates, and it's just, no, it's just you're trying to fix a bug that I haven't experienced yet, so then you automatically do it, and then I get the bug or the fresh new bug that pops up. It's so irritating. Like, don't have like 20 updates in a month. Have like 3 or 2 every 3 months. Like it just doesn't make sense to have one update a week. Like how buggy is your system that you have to update it that often when just take a longer amount of time and just fix everything for a good amount of time. Because honestly, like I couldn't tell a difference with like how buggy my system was until my first update happened, and then things started going wrong. So, from going from a previous Windows to Windows 10 wasn't a problem for me. The original Windows 10 ran, in my opinion, okay or great. It's when it started to update that I started to be irritated, and I think I'm going to continue to be irritated until the next Windows because I don't see these updates ever stopping.
Is there not an option to is there not an option to have it not automatically update that?
Oh, yeah, that's the other great thing. You can say no to the updates. Here's the thing. I believe there's a limit to how many times you can say no to an amount of updates, and then at one point it will just update everything. And that's when it takes a long time. And that's when your computer starts acting up. But even doing like updating your computer every 5 days is just a pain. Like, I don't want to have to go through that process every time, so I choose not to. And then I get penalized for it with an extremely long update followed by a really buggy system for like 4 days. It's just not a good way of doing things.
Yeah, and make sure that you're not breaking something else when you go to fix one thing. Like that's one thing I've never understood about uh, QA testing and just making sure, running diagnostics and finding out, hey, does this break this vitally important system over here to fix this minor bug over here? If yes, you have some more editing to do of your code.